So let's talk about what you're doing today.
Okay, so first of all, this is technically a Dollar Tree craft.
No way. Why is that on the title?
So I don't know, actually.
It's okay.
Oh, wait, it is in the title. I would never do us dirty like that. I knew. If it's listen, if we're using Dollar Tree items, we are going to let y'all know.
We're letting you know.
And honestly, if we can use Dollar Tree, we do. Because we know that y'all love it. And this stainless steel tumbler from Dollar Tree has been like probably my favorite $3 to $5 section
I was about
item.
to say, it has been consistent for us.
Yeah, we've used it like in different type of crafts and tumbler. Like we've done a resin tumbler with it. We did just HTV on it. So I love it.
It's special.
Yeah.
So you're going to love getting to figure out how you're doing it. And Alicia, give us a little sneak peek. Like, should I be, if I'm watching, should I be scared to do this?
Absolutely not. No. And I think what happens is people see an unfamiliar like ingredient.
I was about to say, there's some stuff over there that I'm like.
Yeah, so we're using ferric chloride today, which sounds really fancy. And
it is.
It's really,
Where do you get it?
At Amazon. You can just get it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different brands. The brand like doesn't change from brand to brand. It's just a chemical.
Okay.
And so a lot of people think they can just use like glass etching cream on stainless steel, and it's not, because it's a different.
Totally different formula.
Right, different components go into it.
So differently.
The ferric chloride can actually, it works on like brass and copper. And I wish I don't know what happened. We had this cute little tray that said hippies welcome here.
Yeah.
And it was brass, and we etched it with ferric chloride. So you can use this to etch lots of different things.
This is good to have in your back pocket when you're not doing your regular etching.
Yes, for sure.
I think etching is like so not talked about enough.
Yes.
Because the durability, your lifespan, and so much more with this technique.
And it's classy looking.
It's very classy.
It's very classy. It's not like super like crazy and colorful. It's kind of subtle.
It's not vinyl. You know, you're using vinyl, but that's not going to be your end result.
Right.
So I think if you've never done this, you're going to learn a lot today.
I agree.
My second tutorial that you're really getting today is a really great understanding of how to truly make a stencil.
Yes.
If you've never made a stencil with your Cricut, stick with us. You're going to love getting to see Alicia build the stencil, bring it together, and it's going to be so awesome.
And I'll say this time that I did it the correct way. Y'all, I used to make some like, you know how I do my stencils the old way? I'll show y'all how I do it the old way, but I'm going to show you how to do it the right way today.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, I love that. This is very science lab-ish, and y'all know about that. If you are wanting to, I feel like some people get the etching and like the citrus strip kind of confused.
Yes.
So this is not like the citrus strip. The citrus strip is when you take a powder coated tumbler, we apply actual citrus strip to it, and then it like etches the tumbler. This is going to be actually etching the surface of the stainless steel tumbler. So we're taking a standard stainless steel tumbler. Now this is the Dollar Tree $5 tumbler that I'm obsessed with. We have used these for so many different projects. And so this is what we're going to be etching on today. So let me kind of go over everything that you are going to need and why you're going to need those certain items. So to start with, obviously you're going to need your tumbler. I have our Star Mask by Starcraft. This is stencil vinyl. Now, you do not have to use stencil vinyl. You can use like scrap regular adhesive vinyl. I would not recommend permanent vinyl just because it's going to stick a lot more intensely, I guess.
Sure.
You just need it to stick enough and so lay down flatly, so you don't want to have to use like your good permanent vinyl. If you have some like old removable vinyl or stencil vinyl laying around, that will work perfectly.
Now my secret is that I just like to use a color of vinyl I accidentally bought.
I think that's a good idea.
I mean, and it will work great.
Yeah.
And I've never had any issues yet, and I've stenciled many different things, but I find myself using purples, greens, pinks, like colors that like just do not
that you bought, and I know y'all have bought vinyls that you don't use.
Me. I always do.
Me too. So use the ones that you're not really going to be using for other projects. You just need to stay stuck to your tumbler while we do the corrosive part of it. So the secret ingredient that we're going to be using is this ferric chloride. So this is it says on the front, copper etchant solution. This will etch copper. You can see there's like lots of little warnings here, poison, corrosive. So obviously when you're working with stuff like this, you're going to need the proper PPE. So things such as vinyl gloves, mask if you're not in a well-ventilated area, which we are, glasses, things like that, just to protect yourself. We always want you all to stay safe when you're crafting. And then you're also going to need some pure baking soda. So this is like our neutralizing agent. This basically works when we are done with everything. We're going to kind of put this over everything to neutralize it so it doesn't continue to like corrode the material that's beneath it. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's see, we've got a few other little things. You're going to need some cotton balls. So we have tried this with Q-tips, washcloths. I feel like this is the best way to do it, mainly because it's disposable. Like when you're done, you're done. It takes up enough room that you need to cover your entire stencil and things like that. So cotton balls. I've got a bowl here. You can use a disposable bowl if you would like. This does wash out, like everything washes out. This is like a craft bowl, so we don't eat out of this bowl. Like, get your designated craft bowl. I feel like if you're a crafter, you probably got a designated craft bowl somewhere. I've got some painter's tape. I have a measuring tape, a weeding tool, a burnishing tool. So like your standard Cricut tools. And then I also have a piece of butcher paper down. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've got paper down to protect the surface. Yeah, we don't want to get this like on anything. And then I have just a standard grip Cricut mat, and I cleaned this mat. Aren't you guys so proud of me?
Look at you.
Aren't you so proud? I cleaned it just for this. Well, I cleaned one yesterday, and I thought
it's because you watched my video.
It definitely was, and so I was like, I need to clean a mat for today's live because it was just looking janky. And then I've already cut out our stencil, but I'm going to show you all how to make this stencil. Let me go overhead so you can see really good. I'm going to show you all how to make this little stencil. So we're going to do cheetah print. Isn't that cute? I love it. Yes. So let's go ahead and go into Design Space. So we are in Design Space. Let's go ahead and open up our website. So we really need to start from the Maker's Gonna Learn website. That's where you're going to be able to retrieve all of the yummy files that we like to use. So I am on the home page. Let me get logged in really quick. So sign in.
I love our website. It's like my favorite.
This is, so we just updated, well, I don't want to say just.
Over 6 months ago.
Has it been 6 months already?
I don't know, October.
It's been a few months, but the new website is beautiful. Yes. So if you're new, this is our website. You can see we did this last week. Snow globe glass tumbler. Cute, I love gorgeous. It. We do lots of master classes for our members. Those are member-only content, so you have to be a member to access any of those.
Plus our 30 days to master your Cricut challenge. And we're honestly trying to figure out what new things our members want. So if you have a request, let us know. There's quite a few different ideas we have going on. So let us know what you're really needing help with. We would love to have that conversation today.
Absolutely.
If you're a member, and if you're not a member, we just want to let you know that we want you to feel included. So
absolutely.
Be sure to share.
Carrie, we are still using ferric chloride today. You're just going to need baking soda to neutralize the ferric chloride, but the actual etching solution is ferric chloride. So you can see, first of all, look how cute these cheetah letters are. I have not used these on a craft yet, but I am dying to because they're so cute. And I'm just like really obsessed with cheetah, period. So we're gonna actually be using this file right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and download it. It's gonna pop into a zip folder down here. You can just double click that. And then we're gonna double click the folder, and we are gonna be using the SVG today. So let's open Design Space back up. I'm gonna go to the far left, hit upload, and then we're gonna hit upload image. And then I'm gonna select my finder and just click and drag that cheetah print into Design Space. Now, if I'm going a little bit too fast for you all, we do this in the beginning of all of our videos, and all of our videos are posted on our channel. So even though this is a live stream, you're gonna get to go back and watch it. So we're gonna go ahead and upload that. You can see I already uploaded it earlier. And I'm going to just
Can we just talk about how easy it was to upload that?
I mean, what was that, like 15 seconds flat or something?
A lot of times we have people confused how our membership works in relation to Design Space. And it's that easy. It's that fluid. It takes, I would say, an extra 10 to 15 seconds which creates a lot of value for you. So
Yes.
if you are a Cricut Access member, and we had this conversation last week. Was it last week? Your week before last?
Week before last, yeah.
You know, Cricut Access, you don't have access to the file forever. Or you've
Right.
downloaded it now, you have that forever.
You own it.
You own it, you
Yeah.
know, at least personal use, even if you cancel your membership. So if you're considering Makers Can Learn today, it can really be that easy.
It really is. Okay, so when I pull it in, obviously our final result looks a lot different than this result. So right off the bat, I want to go ahead and just get the outlines of my spots. I don't necessarily want those brown spots in between the black. So when you pull this file in, it's grouped together as 2 layers. So I'm just going to hit this little button right here. This allows us to group and ungroup. I want to ungroup so that I can delete that brown layer. So you can see here, I can just select the brown layer, and I know that the brown layer is selected because right up here you can see this brown is popping up, and all you can do is hit delete. So we just want the black outlines for this project. It's just gonna make it a lot easier. We don't need to be etching both layers in this instance. And then what we're gonna do, put a pause on Design Space. Let's go overhead and measure our cup. So this is the parts where we're gonna be doing kind of like a full wrap on the top edge of this tumbler.
Now, let me pause you. Kim has asked a question that actually I'm very interested in knowing too. So I'm selfishly asking, where did we get that bottle of baking soda?
This is from Amazon.
Oh my goodness. Amazon takes such good care of us.
And I think I linked this one because I thought this is great because it's not like the box ones that stay open. And it has like, you can spoon it out or you can shake it out like a salt shaker.
No way.
Yeah, so this is pretty handy.
Now, I will say, this is a little bit different of a bottle, but oh no, we ordered this exact one, 12 ounces. Yeah, the bottle looks different now.
Oh,
but
does it?
But this is the same one we ordered, so I don't know if the picture's different, number one. Number two, it's a little bit more expensive than,
Well, y'all know prices on everything.
You know, baking soda at the store, I don't know what it is right now, but at the store it used to be, you know, 60 different, 60 different.
Prices?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes.
60 cents for a little container.
Oh, yeah.
So
oh, gosh.
we're also getting...
Okay, so we measured the top portion of our cup. Now, if you were just putting a decal on this, you don't need to measure the entire circumference of the cup. You just want to measure the area that your decal is going to, that your stencil is going to be going into. So if I just wanted to do it like right here on the front, I could do like a 3 by 3.5. And my height, I don't want to go past this lip because it starts getting a little wonky when you get on this like this curvature area. So I kind of stop at 3.5. So I'm going to do 10.5 by 3.5 because we are going to do a full wrap decal. So let's go back into Design Space. And all I've done is pull in a basic square, and I'm going to unlock my square. And then in the width box, I'm going to put 10.5 by 3.5. Okay. So we've got our little square right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over to the top left corner of this cheetah print. And we can select both of these, and we are going to align to the left, and we're going to align to the top. So this is nestled right up in this top left corner of our design. And then what I'm going to do is shrink, Command Z, undo that. I'm going to select the cheetah print just on its own, and I'm going to shrink it down to the exact width of our rectangle. So this cheetah print is technically a seamless pattern.
Wow.
So if I land it correctly and my measurements are perfect, then it should look like a seamless cheetah print pattern all the way around.
Can we do it?
We can do it.
Woohoo.
I believe in us. So that's why I'm shrinking my cheetah to fit within the width parameters of this rectangle. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is select both layers, and we're going to hit slice. And what this is going to do is we can delete that. We don't need it anymore. Basically, we're just going to be left with these spots only, okay? So now what I need to do, it looks done, right? Like it kind of looks finished, but it looks a little bit different than this one over here. So what I'm going to do, I have saved the wrong cheetah print, first of all. Let's go back. You need to save the spots. So you need to save the Does that make sense? We don't want to save the negative space. We want to save the actual spots. So I've got my spots that I sliced out.
And can you bring that back real quick, Alicia? Let's just talk about this real quick. So this right here, if you zoom in a little bit,
let's zoom in.
For everyone at home, look at how your little, at the bottom of the one that looks like a stencil, there's no way that, if you applied that, you would be able to, make sure that line is there properly.
Right.
So,
there's not going to be, see right here beneath these spots, there's no cut lines. It would only cut up at that top area, and then there would be no cut there. So you would have to manually, like with an X-Acto knife or something, go in and cut it.
Like painter's tape? I don't even know what you would do.
Yeah, it would make it much more complicated.
So the negative, we're deleting it out. We do not need the negative anymore.
Let's just get rid of
And we can pick back right where you're at.
Yeah. So then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create my stencil border around our cheetah print spots. So before we made a 10.5 by 3.5 rectangle. Now I'm going to create an 11 by 4. So I'm giving myself a 1/2 inch allowance all the way around my cheetah print. So I'm pulled in my square. I'm going to unlock it again, and we're going to make this 11 wide by 4 tall. And then I'm going to click and drag, so I've got both of my layers selected, and we are going to center them. So you can't see the cheetah print. I'll send this to the back just so you all can see. Now the cheetah print is centered in our rectangle, and I'm going to select both layers. I'm selecting both of the layers, and I'm going to slice.
Smart.
So then we can remove all of this, and we can delete it. And y'all, I know that I'm using slice when I could be using the new functions. Don't come at me, okay? You can use the other functions. I think you could use subtract there or exclude. But basically,
Alicia,
we just sliced it out.
One day those functions are going to go away.
I know, and then I'll have to learn. I actually do it. I do it when I'm by myself sometimes. It's just whatever my brain goes to first.
Yeah, no worries. Oh my gosh, we have such...
Okay, y'all, that's it.
And you did it.
Yeah, we did it. And so all you would do is just add, we've got our Star Mask stencil vinyl here. So if you all have watched any of my stencil videos, I'm like a stencil maker. I just feel like I make stencils a lot. But this is my favorite stencil vinyl. You can get this on the 143 Vinyl website. So it's 143vinyl.com. And all you would do is just cut yourself a piece of vinyl that is at least 11 by 4, and probably needs to be like 12 by 5 at least. Give yourself enough room and just line it up to this top edge, and I could just trim it right here. And then we're going to go back into design space. I'm going to hide one of these, and you would go make it, and you don't need to mirror your image with a stencil, nothing like that. I'm going to select continue, and there is actually a stencil vinyl base material setting. So you can just type in stencil, and I typically just use this basic stencil vinyl setting. I'll hit done, keep it on basic default pressure. We're going to be using a fine point blade. Then you're going to load it into your mat and let it cut, and there you go.
I love it.
That's it.
Now, I want to pick on Alicia for a second.
You can pick on me. It's okay. I'll allow it.
Some of the cool features of the new functions is that Alicia kind of made herself do a little bit more work.
Yes.
When you are still using slice, like we've been accustomed to, you had more work to do. There was more layers.
It keeps all the layers there that you cut through.
So you cut through them, and then you have to delete them out. And someone asked a great question, like, how many do you know you made? What I do when I slice, when you click that slice button, you'll be fascinated to not keep your eyes on the canvas, actually move your eyes to your layers panel.
Yes.
You will see 3 or 4 new layers appear, and it's beautiful. It's a really fun part of the show, like the training you could get.
And the layers panel is so helpful. A lot of people, I think, are intimidated by the layers panel for some reason, but it can be very beneficial if you start learning how it works and how you can use it to your benefit, especially whenever you're moving layers around after you've united something.
Right.
It's just, there's a lot of benefits to utilizing that layers panel. So after you've cut everything out, you are going to be weeding the spots out. So we are weeding out what we want to etch onto our tumbler. So if we did words, you are going to weed out the words. You will not weed around the words. You will weed the actual word out.
Can I just say, if you're not paying attention and you're wanting to really learn stencils, come back to us.
Yes.
Come back to the show. Alicia, just repeat that one more time.
Okay, so after you cut everything out, now this has already been completely weeded, but whenever you cut your stencil out, if you do words, if you do flowers, whatever it is, you are gonna weed out the portion of the stencil that you want to show up on your cup. So if you're doing words, like if you put I love you on your mug, you're gonna weed out the I, the love, and the you. You will not weed out the area around the words. Does that make sense to everybody? And then, especially on this little cheetah print that we've done, I have weeded out all of the spots. And you all know how earlier I was talking about if we had used the negative space for our stencil, how we wouldn't have cut lines beneath our cheetah print spots. You all can see here now, I have cuts right here. So because I put that border, because I put that box around our cheetah print, it allowed me to actually cut out the entire spot rather than missing the bottoms of these spots that get cut off.
It's beautiful.
So hopefully that makes sense to you all. And I have already weeded, honestly, because this would have taken me forever to do on a live stream. So I went ahead and weeded it. And then I used the Caesar transfer tape. That's my favorite transfer tape. But use whatever you've got on hand.
Y'all know me and Alicia also can debate that.
Tanner likes the masking.
I like masking paper transfer tape a lot.
Yes.
It's very affordable.
It is. This is a little bit more bougie. It is a little bit more bougie, and it doesn't.
You can
work
treat
with,
yourself though.
Yeah, treat yourself. I use it all the time. It's my favorite. I keep a roll of this, like a 5-foot roll of this on deck.
That's awesome.
Okay, so before we start doing anything, I'm gonna make sure. I already actually did this before we came on, but you need to make sure. Hold on, let me make sure I'm in center before I start showing y'all. Make sure that you have cleaned your entire thing with rubbing alcohol. You can just take a paper towel and clean it with rubbing alcohol really well. And y'all, I don't know what the Dollar Tree was thinking. And I don't know if y'all can even see it. Can you see the square right here where the price tag was?
Oh.
I'm so bothered by that.
Yeah.
So normally their price stickers are on the bottom when I buy these, but for some reason, they thought it would be smart to put it right there. And now you can see where it was, and I don't know why. I have cleaned the dickens out of this. I've cleaned it, and it won't come off. But that's fine. We're etching, and no one's going to know. No one's going to be able to see it. So clean it with alcohol, just rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. Just wipe it off really good to make sure there's no like debris or oil from fingerprints and things like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply my stencil. We're about to get into the fun part. So I'm just going to pull this backing off. And I'm hoping that this lines up really well. I would love to have a seamless.
I would love that for you too, Alicia.
Me too. But you know, y'all know if you're a crafter, you know it don't always work out like that. Okay, I'm already making a rookie mistake, y'all.
What did you do?
Okay, so I'm going to keep this on here. And in order for me to fully wrap it around, I'm going to flip it over to the back. And I'm just going to bend this back right here. So I'm just bending back a little bit of that backer, about 1 inch. And then I'm gonna line this up with the edge of my tumbler. Can y'all see this? If my head starts getting in the way, you tell me, Sadie.
I mean, we have to sacrifice sometimes for perfection.
I know, and I want it to look good. So I'm just gonna line the top edge of my stencil. I'm gonna line that up with the top edge of my. So just like that, okay. Got my burnishing tool, another burnishing tool on hand, and I'm gonna come underneath here and kind of pull this down.
Okay.
And I'm gonna burnish as I go. I'm gonna move that to the side. Let's just burnish as we go. We want to make sure everything sticks down really well. Okay.
Now for the chloride, do you recommend goggles?
I would wear safety. Yes, I would wear some type of eye protection.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, this is already crooked.
Alicia, no.
But you know what? This is why I really like using stencil vinyl, because look, it's just kind of coming up. It's going to allow me to kind of move and adjust if I need to. But like if you were using permanent vinyl, I can't promise y'all that that would work for you.
Wow.
So I'm just gonna, if I try to be too perfect with this, I'm gonna mess up. So y'all just let me live my life. I'm gonna put this on here. I'm really bad at doing things like well and accurate. Anyway, so I'm just trying to get this right. So now my other technique is to just go in. I'm putting the middle portion here, and I'm trying to get it down as straight as I possibly can. Bear with me, everybody. It's going to be worth it in the end. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying. And I swear it's making me feel, y'all, if you guys have ever done tapered tumblers, it feels like I'm working on a tapered tumbler, but I'm not. This is not tapered. But it doesn't want to lay flat for me.
I mean, Alicia, we did get it at the Dollar Tree.
I know, but it still should lay pretty flat. So maybe it was my bad trying to do a full wrap on this. You know what I'm saying? But we're really lucky because this vinyl is coming up so
And people
easily.
just want to let you know you've lost a piece or two of your stencil.
I only lost one piece, okay?
Oh, okay.
Only
Alicia,
lost one.
Alicia knows.
I know. It's okay. They're cheetah print spots, so they're not perfect.
Yes, exactly.
So, okay. Let's do this, you guys. This is the last time I'm trying it. If it's a little off, we're just going to like work with it. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to do it. So, I'm going to turn it this way. We're going to try to get this as straight as humanly possible, taking any and all constructive criticism.
Alicia, just pretend that you are in the craft room. You don't have hundreds of people watching you. You're just
no
it's just you.
pressure.
It's just you. Have a craft fail.
It's the nature of crafting is making mistakes. It's just how it is.
Yes, I love it.
You know what? We're committed to this. This is what we're doing here. So, okay, our stencil is down. It is very lumpy, but we're going to just work with it. So I'm going to go ahead and squeegee everything down. Before I remove my transfer tape, I'm going to squeegee this down. The main thing is that you don't want your ferric chloride leaking underneath your stencil. So I'm just going to kind of take my burnishing tool and I'm going to flatten it down as well as I can. And I'm going to have a few bumps here and there. But y'all, I really like this technique, especially with a pattern like cheetah print, because it's kind of mistake proof. Like you're not going to be able to tell, even though that my vinyl isn't laid down great, you're not going to be able to tell it after we apply the ferric chloride and like do the actual etching, if that makes sense.
Right.
So this over here looks really rough, but we are going to make it work. Okay, I promise. So we're going to pull this off. Now this front side looks gray. This is good. Okay. Pull this all the way off.
You're doing it, Alicia. You got this.
We committed. Okay. So what I'm going to do now that it's off, you can see like there's a couple little bubbles and stuff. I'm just going to kind of go through here and flatten all of this out. Okay. So we are getting there. And you really want to make sure that this is down because anywhere that ferric chloride goes, it could very well leak underneath. Okay. These are ugly. Just turn a blind eye. Turn a blind eye.
Yeah, that's the cool part with, so patterns like this they're very forgiving.
They are.
And you're gonna have really great results with this.
Now, if you were trying to do something that was like very like perfectly symmetrical, like I think of like an Aztec design or something, it wouldn't be nearly as forgiving. But cheetah print is very organic shapes, and so that allows us to kind of make a few more little mistakes. Now, I could sit here for like 30 more minutes and make this perfect, but like,
we're on a show. We're living it up.
Right, and I don't want to bore you all with trying to get this line.
People are just having a lot of anxiety for your behalf. I'm just letting you know.
How I feel.
So you're the entertainment today, Alicia.
No, we're fine, you guys. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
So, okay, this actually did not do as bad as I thought. Now, this is not great, but you know what? We can't all be perfect.
Yeah,
okay?
You're right. You are absolutely right, Alicia.
So now that I have gotten everything down, I've kind of got all of the bubbles out, especially around your spots. You want to make sure all of the bubbles are out that you can get. And then what we're going to do, I'm just going to sit this right here on my burnishing tool. Okay, so the burnishing tool trick just kind of allows us to have stability on our cup while we're working. And the next thing that we want to do is put on our PPE. So I'm going to go ahead and put on all of that.
Listen at the nurse in you talking.
PPE, personal protective equipment. So I've got gloves, glasses, everything that you need to put on. We're in a big area, so make sure you're in like a well-ventilated area.
Yes,
to
our
do
previous
this.
studio or two just wouldn't have done near as
It
much.
wouldn't
This
have
is
made
such a
it.
beautiful space that we have. Like, we're so blessed. So thank you guys.
Yes. Okay, so I've got this open, ready to go.
And you said cotton balls is your favorite.
Yes, cotton balls is the best way to get like even coverage without getting too much on it, because we're going to be applying it in layers. So another thing that I'm going to do is I am going to just add a piece of tape to the bottom of this cheetah print design. I'm just going to add some, mainly because I just want to avoid getting any of this ferric chloride on the bottom portion of my tumbler. Okay, so this is just to protect our cup from getting any ferric chloride where we don't want it. Okay, lined up with my janky.
I love that. Now, other people are also agreeing with you that the top part is tapered. So, like, they don't think you're crazy. They actually think.
It has to be. It has to be. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. It has to be tapered because that's why whenever you do a non-tapered stencil, it will bow up like that at the top.
Tell them, Alicia.
So it's not me. It's you. It's the cup. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my little cotton balls. I like to just kind of have a pile.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to be dipping my hand back into the cotton ball.
Right.
So what we're gonna do is start by adding a nice thin layer of this. So we're gonna go ahead and get some of this onto our cotton ball, being very careful. And we're just gonna go ahead and start adding this on top of our stencil.
Wow.
Yeah, so good thin layer. We're gonna do like 5 coats of this. So we're applying it all over. And honestly, be really careful. If you don't apply tape to the top edge, be careful there if any of it's exposed.
Love that.
Okay.
And after she gets done with this, we will show you all the finished one for sure.
Oh, yeah. We're not going to go through all this with you and not show you the finished product.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to apply this all over. Okay. Does anybody have questions so far?
People are saying, Carol specifically stated, the angle from above shows how the tumbler is angled, not cray-cray. And then Michelle says the top is tapered. If you line it up at the top and work downwards rather than around, it's easier to line up the stencil.
Honestly, y'all, if I had even one little hankering that it was tapered, I would have shown you all a different way to do a stencil. Actually, I probably wouldn't have done a full wrap.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's very hard when you have tapered cups to do a full wrap. So just be careful, mindful of that.
Absolutely.
What are they doing? Just Tumbler. Melanie, we are teaching how to use this chloride on an amazing Dollar Tree. We're etching it.
We're etching stainless steel, and we're using corrosive chemicals. Yeah. We're wild like that.
We're wild.
It's actually just ferric chloride. It sounds fancy, but you could buy it on Amazon.
It's so cool.
So, and there's a couple where it's overlapped. I'm going to not do this one and like these two. I'm going to skip those because they're like kind of weird looking and I don't feel like it looks like a complete cheetah spot. So I'm going to avoid those.
Megan is completely swamped, but she's still enjoying getting to listen to Maker's Learn. Megan, so
Megan.
good to see you.
Always here hanging out with us.
Yes.
Okay, that was what, coat number 3?
Yeah.
We got 2 more.
Woo-hoo.
2 more. We are almost there. And you
Welcome
can see
all our new friends.
Can y'all see like what's happening here?
Yeah, it's so good.
It's darker than this bottom area. So it's already starting to etch, which is so cool to see. And it's really going to blow your mind when I pull a stencil off. Y'all are going to be like, dang. Okay, so we're just going to keep on going. And also, I want to say, I've got a clean hand and a dirty hand. If you're a nurse, you know that that's a rule in a sterile field.
Wait, what?
I've got a clean hand and a dirty hand. So your dirty hand does the job, and your clean hand stays sterile and clean for other things.
We're learning.
Yes. Who knew this would be a medical lesson?
I love it.
So I'm just dabbing this on. This is our 4th coat. And I've only went through like 6 or 7 little cotton balls.
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, it's really not bad. I feel like if y'all can get your hands on ferric chloride, you probably already have everything it takes to make this.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So, and I was saying earlier, you don't want to get too much of this ferric chloride on your cotton ball, just enough. You need just enough to put a thin coat on it, so don't like get crazy.
Love it.
Yeah. And also I'm using a burnishing tool. I probably should have used like an older burnishing tool because I'm getting a little bit on here, but it doesn't really erode plastic. So I think I can just rinse that off and it'll be totally fine. Okay. This is our last coat.
Yes.
I can tell it's working really well though. So
I love it.
I'm feeling good.
You're awesome.
Okay. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm a little nervous about this back edge, but like I feel like it's going to be better than I think it is in my brain. Like I feel like I'm getting nervous for no reason because I think it's going to work just fine. Other than maybe having a couple holes. But okay, so this is 5 coats. You guys can tell an obvious difference from the stainless steel at the top of our tumbler versus the stainless steel at the bottom of our tumbler. This is much more shiny. This is going to be a lot darker and dulled down, and that means that the ferric acid is working.
Love it.
This acid is not just for stainless steel. You can use this on copper. What else? There's other, like brass.
Yeah.
Brass. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to let Tanner talk to you guys. I'm going to go rinse this off in the sink, and then we will reveal it together.
I'm so excited.
Okay. So before I go, I'm going to.
I was wondering when you were going to bring this into the picture.
Not only am I going to put this baking soda on my cup, but I'm going to put it in this bowl to neutralize any of the ferric chloride on my cotton balls. I'm also going to put water on this before I throw these away. I do not want to throw these in the trash can like this. Okay.
Wait, can you tell me why?
Because this is an acid and it's corrosive and it'll eat through Lord knows what's in your trash can.
Scary.
Yeah, so you want to neutralize it with baking soda, and then you want to neutralize it even more with water.
Wow.
And then so I'm going to take this baking soda, and we're going to do the same thing all over our tumbler. So this part can be a little bit messy, but that's why we have butcher's tape and this is going to stop that corrosive process too.
Now, does this work on glass?
So you can use Armor Etch for glass. I would not recommend ferric chloride
I didn't
on
think
glass.
So.
Yeah. You can etch glass, just not with ferric chloride. Okay, everybody, are you ready? Are you guys excited?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I can already tell.
Okay, you can. Okay, and when you first rinse it off, you're gonna be like, it didn't work. It didn't work. And every time I do this, I'm like, it didn't work. And I'm like, I just trick myself every time. So let's go ahead and start peeling this off. This is completely cleaned. I cleaned everything off. Y'all, can you see? Can you see it?
Oh, snap.
I just want to say I'm starting with the ugly section, and it already looks good, okay?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so we're just pulling this totally off.
Wow.
Look how cute.
Wow.
I mean, you can see there's like a few little holes there, but like,
wow.
Let's take our weeding tool and just be careful not to scratch your stainless steel, but I'm just going to kind of pull this up.
Right.
Get off all of these centers. Okay.
That is so exciting.
What do y'all think? Is that not the coolest thing?
I'm highly impressed.
Every time I do this, I'm like, dang, that's cool. I'm always very impressed by this type of craft.
I love it. That is so awesome.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so this is the cheetah print. This is the just a decal one, which is going to be easier. It's a better starter project, I think, rather than doing a full wrap.
For sure. Now, I do want to let you guys know, this is on here forever, right?
Yeah,
like,
it never goes away.
Never going away. Never.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Yes.
Oh,
now this backside needs a little bit of help, but I can totally go back in with some little individual cheetah spots and etch those on there.
I love it.
But now we know that these are slightly tapered.
Yeah.
But the regular decal, like, it's pretty mistake proof. Like, you can't really mess that up.
That's awesome. And
yeah.
I mean, for a cotton ball, Someone asked why you needed so many cotton balls.
I mean, it's to each their own.
Each their own. You could use little more.
It starts getting very saturated.
Yeah.
So like, and you don't want it to be super heavy whenever you're applying your layers. So I was kind of getting a new cotton ball every so often because I didn't want it to be like full of that chloride.
Yeah. You don't want it to be too saturated and potentially get underneath your mask or your stencil.
You need a very good, thin, even coat on these.
And someone said this would be great for a flask. This would be perfect for a flask. If you're doing any type of wedding gifts, things like that, monogrammed ones, or something really cool on there.
That's a great idea.
Perfect. Yeah, groomsmen gifts, that would be It's from you all. We've been giving a little suspense because this is so good. Let's go overhead and I'm going to show you the results that we were able to get. So this is our etching on Slate tutorial. We're so excited for this. It feels, you can barely even feel any difference. Actually, you cannot feel any difference. I mean, this looks so good. It looks very similar to what I would expect to get from etching on a Glowforge. We didn't engrave it, we really just etched it. So I guess on a Glowforge, you could engrave it to have a texture difference. But this is what we're going to teach you guys today how to do it. And honestly, spoiler alert, it's really easy. Like, this is really easy.
Like, I thought it was gonna be
really challenging.
Like, whatever. Y'all, this is probably, let me think back. Yeah, for sure, probably the easiest project that we're doing all week.
I think so, and because you get this piece of Slate here at the Target dollar spot, so you guys need to run over to Target after you get done with the show, pick up some of these. They're $5, so it's just really awesome. They have the little, you're able to sit them down, and I also put them on these to display. So whichever way you really want your Slate to be displayed, you're going to be able to rock this for only $5. And in addition to, let me think what other materials you really have that you may not already have on the scene, you will need etching cream. So we're using an Armor Etch today. This is probably the most obtainable etching cream. I'll have some other etching creams I really love. If you ever see Etch All, there's like usually a B on there. I really love Etch All, but Armor Etch is great. They sell it at most craft stores. So good, and it's gonna be really, really great. So yeah, it looks awesome. Woohoo, you guys are incredible.
So one thing I do want to add, we got these at the Target dollar spot.
Yes.
I could not, obviously Target doesn't have a dollar spot on their website.
I know.
I found them on Amazon. If you don't want to go out to Target or you don't have a Target close to you, I found them on Amazon for, I mean, they were they were still $5 a piece, but you could buy them in, I think, a pack of like 5 or 6.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
So if you want to do gift ideas this holiday season, great idea. We are using stencil vinyl. So this is like stencil vinyl from StarCraft. So this is that. We have some of the Caesar transfer tape we'll be using today. I'm going to teach you guys how to create a stencil in Cricut Design Space. We're using a font, which our font today is Flexibility. So that's an interesting new font. Haven't got to use that here on the show a lot. And then what else we are going to need is our circle, or some of our flowers. It's called Circle 2. If you're on the website, you can search around for the circles and you'll find a lot of different unique little greenery in circles. So we really love that. So we're merging a cut file with a font, then we're going to turn it into a stencil, and then we're going to etch. Okay, this is super, super easy. Do you think you could add white paint to etch to the etching to brighten it up? So Lorraine, here's the thing. If we add paint, we're not etching no more, we're just painting.
So one of the things funny you ask, I just did a video on colored etching.
Ooh.
One thing I have learned, and somebody asked if we had etched on other materials.
Yeah.
That's funny. We're actually going to be coming out with a video very soon where Alicia etches on a plethora of different materials.
So many things.
If you are adding color to anything you etch,
right?
What I have found, now Slate, I did not try to add color to Slate personally. We have added color to ceramic mugs.
Yes.
So the difference, I think with the ceramic mugs, we used Speedball screen printing ink to add color.
And it looked pretty good.
It did. The reason being is because ceramic is a very porous material.
Very similar.
So it pulls in that
Love
color.
it.
If you etch on glass, you'll have to stay tuned to our video that we're going to re-release. There's really only one way that I really like how to etch glass, because glass is not porous.
Yeah. So a lot of you are asking about like fill-ins and things like that. Here's the thing for this tutorial. It looks a little bit more higher end because it doesn't stand out as much.
That's why I
That's the look. Like
that is the look we're going for.
We're not wanting to stencil, you know, Slate. If you want to get it as bright as possible, follow this technique, and instead of using etching cream, go ahead and use your favorite chalk paint. Use your favorite multi-surface paint. You're going to be able to get a better look if you're looking for it broader if you go the route of paint, okay? We're wanting high-end results today for Dollar Tree or Target dollar spot prices. You picking up when I'm sitting down? That's what we're going after today. That's why we're etching it. When I'm telling you I'm feeling this, like if I close my eyes, like I can't feel any of this. It looks very high-end. It feels really good. It looks store-bought. That's what we love to do here at Maker's Gonna Learn, is help you get a store-bought finish, custom to you, custom for the people you're giving gifts to this year, and you're gonna rock it. So let's head on over and jump into Design Space. So let me share with you what we're working with today. So this is what we've got. We intentionally, if you're looking over here, we did not weld this, okay? We did not weld this because we want to be able to unattach it and then be able to change out the name, okay? So this is what you're going to be able to do. So I'm going to share with you how to do this from the beginning, but I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time, we are focusing on attaching rather than welding today, just so that you can save this and edit it anytime and anything like that. Let's head over to Maker's Gonna Learn. Here is what you're going to need today. You're going to need the flexibility font. So this is the flexibility font under Maker's Gonna Learn fonts. If you guys did not know, we have so many different fonts here that you're able to grab. We have a lot of different categories. We add new fonts every month. It is so, so good. We have monogram fonts, fancy fonts, so many. You can see some of our new ones right here. Guys, we added a Barefoot Joanna sketch font. Okay, so what this means is you can now use the Barefoot Joanna font and have the Cricut draw the font.
Can I just say that one of my favorite new additions to our files and fonts that we've been releasing is the fact that we are now doing monoline font file. We are fixing to, I think we're going to be releasing a lot more monoline files, but also these sketch fonts. Like,
oh my gosh,
I'm
sketch fonts, I'm here
obsessed with using the pins on the Cricut. I don't use them near as much as I want to.
But now with these new fonts, I'm gonna be like leveling
It's unlimited.
Up. Yeah, it's great. For any fall and Christmas projects, you now have a Buffalo Plaid font. So if you want to be extra, you guys can go for that. So all of these are available as soon as you join. So you get fonts and cut files for whatever tier member you are today. When you go over to cut files, we just search circle, and you can see there's a lot of different circles pop up. So if the one I'm using today is not your cup of tea, try out one of these other ones. We are using circle 2. So this circle right here.
There are so many of these circles that you can split up and move around.
Yeah.
That's just the one that I picked at the time being.
I love it.
I mean, it's possibilities
so
are
good.
endless.
So you just want to download it. If you've never been able to upload a font from our website and you want to see how easy it is, follow me. So I press the download button. Then when you click on the zip file, it's going to pop up right here. I'm going to open that folder, and now I'm going to pull up Design Space, and I'm going to come over here, and on the left bottom or the left sidebar, let's click Upload. And we're going to click Upload Image, and we're just going to drag and drop that SVG file. Bada bing, bada boom. And click Upload. So many fonts to pick from, y'all. So many. Okay, the file's already there. That's how easy it is
to get a file into Cricut Design Space. So that's awesome. I mean, look at this. You can now go ahead and, you know, kind of play around with it, stretch it, you know, we'll manipulate that some and whatnot. So that will be really, really good. I'm trying to see, now that Cricut has moved this around, find it really interesting because used to you could unlock it, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to, you know, go a few extra steps. So if you wanted to, I'm trying to see where exactly
it's above, so the width and the height, there's a little bitty lock button. That's how small it is.
Yes, it's so little, so it's right here. But as I click that, you can see now, as long as it's unlocked, you can now kind of manually manipulate it a little bit. It's gonna be hard to find that perfect middle. So you can just play around with that, things like that. See this bottom one, what I want you all to notice here, let me zoom in so we can focus in on this. So this bottom right, where for years I've always used to, you know, stretch it, unlock it, things like that. The unlock button used to be up here and things. You can see they all have different buttons now. So like if you zoom out, if you move your cursor a little bit further out, if you guys see, it now lets me rotate it around. Same with every corner. So if I'm down here, I'm stretching it, but then if I let go of my mouse and then I move it, now I'm rotating it. Lauren, it's a little confusing to me, so I just want everyone at home to understand it's different with these updates. You're going to see that. So these updates are coming to you in the new Cricut curriculum we have in our membership. So just stay tuned. You're going to get that updated curriculum. And now I need to get back to my craft. So I'm just going to try to see here. I don't want it to feel stretched, so I'm going to try to meet somewhere in the middle. Right about here. We can look at our inspo. That's looking really good. So that's all you had to do. So we took just a circle cut file, manipulate it a little bit, and now I'm going to lock it back just so that I don't mess with it again, because it's really easy to kind of start messing with things now in this new design space. Not a problem, but just an observation. All right. So now what we're going to do, we need to grab our flexibility font. So I'm using the font Cricut Sans. We need to go here, and all week we've been talking about this. When you search for Flex, and you're like, I know I downloaded the flexibility font, you're like, it's not here. You want to make sure you're going over to System Fonts, okay? Click System, bada bing, bada boom.
This is the one part of the update that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
I do love that you can favorite or bookmark your favorite fonts.
Yes.
I love that portion of it. And we had a lot of friends in here saying, wait, you couldn't do, well, I didn't know you could do that. That is something that you can do.
Yeah.
However, I don't like that you can't search all fonts together.
I also really miss the previous setup for our four corners. I'd always taught the four corners a very specific way, and like it just made sense to me. So, you know, things like that. Some people are saying I'm still slightly rotated. You are correct. I can try to straighten this up. I just wanted to show you all, you know, all the bells and whistles. Now, I quickly changed this to Bell. We've seen this now with 3 different fonts. I've seen this with Bell. Over to our left, which is what we're making today, is Lewis. And then our sample is Coffee. I want to let you all know this right here is a really unique font, because a lot of times if we start interchanging last names, they kind of, some don't look as good as others.
No, they don't.
So this flexibility font, I want to put y'all onto it. If you haven't downloaded it from Maker's Gonna Learn, I think you're going to really, really enjoy this one, because all 3 look really good.
Take that bell and see what McCoy looks like. Let's just do
see it.
multiple.
M-C-C-O-Y.
Little C, big C.
Little C,
big C.
Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, let's move this around here.
Because my name is one of those that a lot of times don't look good.
Right.
Because of the little C, big C.
Well, we got to do a little something here. So we can do, say, letter space and bring that down, see what it starts looking like. Ooh.
Okay.
And you could ungroup this if you wanted like the little C to touch the big C, or if you like or want the little C to touch the M, things like that too, or move the Y back over. So you could ungroup that. If you guys have a last name you need to be able to manipulate, let me share with you how to do that. So let's go ahead, come up here to the top right-hand corner. Do you see my little cursor? It's circling around ungroup, all right? We're gonna click ungroup. What that did now is every letter of McCoy, Miss Lauren's last name, is now its own layer. So I can manually take, for example, the Y, and I'm just gonna move it over here. Move it over here. Beautiful. Lauren, would you say I'm confused where this C should touch. I think it should touch the M, right? Because you would do the M. Actually, it may.
No, it would need to be
its own little thing.
It's its own little thing.
Yeah. So it doesn't really touch anything. So it looks really good now. So that small little change I was able to do. Then I'm gonna come back, click all these letters. I held down Shift while selecting those, and then I'm just gonna weld it back. So ta-da! Now this is welded, and it was beautiful. So whichever last name you're working with, I love that you all are saying flexibility is flexible. You all are awesome. So that is super, super fun. So yeah, we love this, right? So this is the one we're gonna do. We're gonna do Lewis. Shout out to Sadie's mama, who's gonna be getting this one. Hopefully she likes it. Oh,
she is. Well, you now have a surprise when you get home.
I'm nervous.
It's not a surprise now.
Now this has to be perfect.
Oh, it will be.
So Lauren, let's address the question for Miss Bonnie. Is this food safe? Let me pull up my etching cream. So I want to not tell you all anything wrong. We're gonna wash this etching cream off. So I just want to tell you, if you all want to come overhead with me, we'll read some of this. So Armor Etch will not etch plastic or Pyrex. Not intended for large solid surfaces. If you ever try to use this for like a square, you'll find that it gets really uneven really fast. It takes, if you get any of this in your eyes, call him a physician for eye contact, rinse, blah, 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 seek medical advice.
Armor Etch is permanent, and you can safely put it in the dishwasher or microwave. Ooh. So yes, it would be food safe.
Love that. Love that. Okay, so yeah, just be careful. Use your own instinct on this. Don't do anything you don't feel safe doing. Okay, so when you are able to do this, you are going to now attach it. So back over in Design Space, you want to make sure that your circle leaves are attached to your last name. That way, if you want to go ahead and ungroup or unattach this, change the last name, attach it again, it'll be solid. So I'm going to delete this one, and then I'm going to now press Make It. Notice we had another one hid, but since it's hid, it's not going to show up on our mat. So let's click Make It. And you can see here, it's right here. Now we already sized it for our slate. I do want to encourage you to measure and size this. So if we go overhead, you can see we have about 12 inches by 7 3/4 inches of room to work with. So you just want to be careful about that. And now my tip on this page, I want to make sure that you maneuver your design to the middle, okay? So I'm going to maneuver this and just manually move it down to the middle. A lot of our friends do not know when you're to the mat that you can actually move things around. So you're just going to move things around just like this to more like the center. This is going to allow for you to have all this excess to protect the rest of your slate. All right, picking up when I'm sitting down? Great. We are going to now press continue. Connect to your machine. If you guys cannot tell, I'm very sniffly today. Tennessee allergies are really getting me there. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to select just whatever vinyl you're working with. If you're working with a stencil material, I like to select removable vinyl is a great setting. And then you would load your mat and cut it. Now, we're on the show today and it's gonna take a while to etch. So we went ahead and we have cut this out and we just weeded this bottom part because we were killing time chatting before the show, making sure everything worked well. This is where it gets interesting.
Yes.
Have you ever worked and made a stencil before? Because I have been doing this for a while and I still get tripped up. I still get tripped up. All right.
You almost got tripped up though when we
That's why I'm
first cut
saying.
it.
That's why I'm saying it is really easy to get tripped up. Now, let's talk about why I moved that to the middle. I want all this excess to be there to protect my slate, and I'll show you that here in a minute. So here I was starting to weed right here, not my inside pieces, and I even was looking at the sample. So the sample is anything black is where we need the vinyl. So you weed out the actual word, you know, the last name. You weed out the actual outlines, but leave these center pieces. Okay? That's what you do when you're making a stencil. So I'm going to encourage you to burnish down your stencil. And you can do this with a number of things. Sometimes I'll grab a weeding tool, just like so. And I like to use the backward side, and I just burnish this down. This is just gonna help the vinyl stay down because we're about to weed it. All right? So then we grab this, and we're gonna go slow. This is a really small design, no rush. We're all friends here, we're just hanging out. So no need for anybody to rush. And then we're gonna make sure these stay down as we go through.
So we did have somebody say something about not putting the slate in the microwave or the oven. Obviously not. This slate cutting board is not microwave or oven safe. We were just saying, is Armor Etch food safe? Like if you did it on Pyrex, we also had a friend in here say if you do it on the Pyrex that is made after 1998, not before 1998, then yes, it is still food safe. That's just for pieces that can be put in the microwave or the oven.
Look at this. So I'm doing this technique where I'm holding with my left hand the piece I'm peeling up, and with my right hand I'm taking and making sure these little vinyl pieces stay down. That way I have great visibility, and it seems to be working really well for me. So I just want to pass this along to you as well. All right, I weeded this out. Now what we're gonna do, I am not peeling this up like by myself. Like I am using transfer tape to transfer this design and move it over to the slate so everything stays together, okay? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go save this piece of transfer tape for another project. Now, Alicia loves, me and Alicia have been having some heated debates. She loves the Caesar transfer tape. I personally don't love it as much as she does. Lauren, what are your thoughts?
First of all, can I ask, why do you not love it as much as Alicia?
Okay, so Alicia acts like this is like her absolute favorite thing ever. I even love the Cricut clear transfer tape. Just saying.
I'm an OG
masking paper transfer tape?
No.
What?
Even when I started using a die cutting machine, I used contact paper as my transfer tape. That's the only transfer tape I ever used. Was I would go to the kitchen section and I would get contact paper. So
Lauren's wild over here, okay?
I'm not saying that contact paper is my favorite.
She's getting wild.
But
Y'all.
you
Okay.
also have to understand, like, I was crafting, I was balling on a budget, y'all. Like, big time budget.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna use the taco method. Here we are. And then we're just gonna place it down. Notice I didn't try to get a piece of transfer tape to be as large as my, excessive amount of vinyl, because I don't want to waste too much. And then now I've got to really burnish. I really should have brought a burnishing tool in here. I didn't even think about it. How many times? I don't need it. No, stay seated. You're good. You're good. Because I got this.
There's a bone folder in there that I used.
I have this handy dandy. Look, you're talking about a budget. I've got the popsicle stick.
I used a bone folder that we had.
I love the bone folder. Okay. We're all on a budget today.
I think the reason
It's not bad.
I think the reason that I'm going to just be honest, I like the Caesar better than the Cricut.
Wow.
And I think the reason is because it is more like the contact
paper
that I'm used to using.
Okay.
And
I respect that.
I can reuse that Caesar
For quite a while.
Like, I'll literally use it 10 times over.
Oh, and she
not
means
have a
that.
problem.
Like, outside in the craft room, there's just pieces of this.
Like, me and Alicia
Just
stick
sitting
every
around.
part of our transfer tape on the side of our desk. Like, we don't waste
Oh
it.
my gosh. Now, if this stays all the way down, I'm in love with it too. Ah! There was no problem with it.
Told you.
I literally just bashed it and then wow.
I'm going to pull an Asher on you. Asher's always like, told you, Bob.
Okay, so I retract every comment I just made upon the Caesar transfer tape. Please retract it. If you've never tried it, I think you should give it a chance.
Give it a shot.
I apologize to Caesar. All right.
You better apologize to Caesar.
I know. Who knew? I had no idea. Okay, now this is where it's going to get interesting. It came up really great. And if you guys know transfer tape, it either comes up really great or stays down really great. So I'm going to burnish and I'm giving my all to make sure it stays down. And I'm excited to find out how this goes. Because I've used this a lot. I've used this material a lot, and I'm just never fond of it. So maybe today's the day I fall in love. And you guys see here, I mean, clearly I'm giving my all. Okay, so now, it's a really thicker, it's thick. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I see a little,
See, I will say, it is still, I know I talked about how sticky the Cricut brand was. This one is still pretty sticky. I mean, the first use is, I guess maybe the reason that I say I like it is because after the first use, it's like,
it's
so easy.
Yeah. Okay, y'all, maybe.
But you also have to think, this slate surface is very, like, it's not a smooth surface, so it's a little harder. And I really don't think, doesn't matter what kind of transfer tape you have, it's going to be harder.
Now, I think the Cricut transfer tape would have came up better. I'm kidding. But listen, you got your popsicle stick out. We can do anything with the popsicle stick. All right. Oh, no. Now, stay down. Stay. Guys, what's worse?
I told you I could have weeded this before the show
Listen, I love this. They need to see the weeding. They need to know what they're getting in for. This is a commitment. This is a committed project. You're staying the course. You're rocking it.
Cindy said, and I do the same thing a lot. Cindy said, I've gotten in the habit of always tacking my transfer tape to my shirt before every project.
Yeah, that's a smart way to do it too.
Because I really don't think there's a single, transfer tape that doesn't. they are all very sticky except for masking
paper. Yeah, masking paper transfer tape would be different. Like, it wouldn't be better, it would just be different.
I can't do.
Look what I've got myself into over here.
I cannot do the masking tape because I don't like not seeing where I'm putting it.
Yeah. I feel you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody's saying that they really like the StarCraft
I love
transfer
that.
tape.
Good to know. All right, so now the step is we gotta go in and make sure we are burnishing with our hand. We're gonna burnish with our little tool because this slate is textured, okay?
So when I did this, one thing that you definitely have to do, go in and seal those edges with, I don't care what it is.
The finger seems to be my favorite so far.
I used, obviously y'all know I have acrylics on all the time, acrylic nails. I go in with my nail and like make sure it's pressed down very well.
Yeah, I love that. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so we're almost there. Perfect. Okay, so we've got this down. This is great. Now we're going to take the Armor Etch, and I have a paintbrush we're going to apply it with today. If you've never worked with etching cream, it's really fun. The paintbrush is going to be a great addition. Lauren, how thick did you apply it? Did you do an average etching thickness?
I did an average, but I also found that moving it like just, you don't, with this slate, if it was any other surface,
right,
I would say brush it like with glass. I like to brush on my glass for at least a minute or two, like just constantly brush so it moves around and gets in those crevices.
This is not one of those.
This is not one of those.
This is like a set it and forget it.
Because if you get it and you brush it too much and it gets down in those crevices, then it starts to bleed through your stencil.
Yeah.
So I would do an average.
Yep.
But I would also you need to brush it on.
Right. I kind of like to do this method with material like that, where it's like more of a dab up and down, so there's no like true motion, but we're gonna make sure it's really covered too, because the brushing really worries me. So sometimes with pouncers, I wouldn't use a pouncer for this, but if I was painting this, I would definitely use a foam pouncer and pounce this on. Plaid Crafts sells some really great foam pouncers for this exact technique, but again, the etching cream would not do well on a foam brush.
No, not at all.
I love it. Look at this. Oh my gosh, sorry I cut you off.
No.
So we're gonna let this sit for, prior we did 10 minutes. It's 12:52, so we'll let it sit for like 8 minutes or so. So maybe at 1 o'clock we'll just kind of start wiping this off and things like that. There, we're almost to where we're gonna kind of take it off. See a little area where I need to make sure. Gotta make sure Tracy's covered. So yay! We're leaving it on April for about 8 to 10 minutes. You could probably etch it in less, but we just want, since it's Slate, we want to give it some extra time. Such a great experience. It's so awesome. Now, Lauren, here's where it gets good. I'm like, did this even etch?
This is where it gets scary. Keep on going, but.
You're giving me the green light.
Yeah.
Do you want to come look at it?
Yeah, I do.
Lauren. What have you done? What have I done?
You good? You bougie?
Look at all this etching cream I'm saving. Y'all see this? This is a lot.
That's why I told you.
This is a lot.
That's why I told you.
Oh my goodness.
Well, while you talk to them, I'm gonna go wash it off for you.
Okay. This is, I stuck it to the table.
Yeah, you did. You did. All the way. Okay.
There we go. Okay, but look, it didn't move. It was great. Oh my goodness. Dun, 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 dun,
So let's
dun,
go
dun,
overhead.
So tell them what you did, because people are like, wait, where'd you go?
Okay, so what I did was I went and I washed all of this off. As you can see, it's still wet.
So there's water, which now makes it like, did it even etch?
This is where it gets scary.
Oh,
but just wait.
Oh!
Now wait, it's
No,
still
it's
wet. So once you,
I'll take that.
yeah, thank you.
People are bragging on your nails.
Oh, I have the best nail girl ever. It still looks very faint.
What?
Just wait.
Guys. Oh my. What? Are y'all watching this?
Magic.
Are y'all watching this?
It's like magic.
No way. No way. No way.
Yes, I just washed it in our kitchen sink.
Okay.
For those that are curious.
Guys, I was freaking out. I was freaking out.
I don't think so.
I was freaking out.
It's not on.
Lauren,
My mic's not been on.
welcome back.
My batteries are dead.
Well, Lauren's got some things to work out real fast while I remove this. Guys, I was freaking out. That's why the title is like, does this work? Because this was the whole experience we had. We shouldn't even brought in the finished product. Like, we shouldn't have had that from the beginning, really. No. We should have kept y'all on the edge of your seat. But look at this. I mean, this is so good.
Okay, is that better?
Yay!
Ow!
Are you okay?
I just stabbed myself with a pin tool.
Don't talk about that. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at this.
I'm absolutely I'm obsessed with it.
I love it.
I have been.
Holy cow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, grab that one little. Now they're stuck. They're stuck to my finger because the stencil material works that well. It's stuck to my skin.
It does. It does.
I love it. Guys.
Dang it, I can't get that one up.
Are you all ready to make these? Tell me in the comments, are you all ready to make these? I love it. Okay, Lauren, I gotta do something. Okay, let's head on over. Let's bring them over. Oh my goodness. What do you all think? This is so cool. And we'll put this out here. Don't knock it off.
I won't.
Guys, oh my goodness. Look at Miss Tracy's. Yay!
So now you see where I said it. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel. My name is Lauren and I am a craft producer here at Makers Gonna Learn. In today's video, we are going to be teaching you all about how to etch on glass, but not only that, I'm going to show you how to add color to your etched glass so that you have a really beautiful effect. If you are new to our channel, make sure that you like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we come to you with a great craft. Now we're just gonna hop overhead and I'm gonna show you all the materials that you're gonna need to get started with this amazing craft. Now that we're overhead, you can see that the supplies for this craft are pretty minimal and maybe things that you just have laying around. The main component for this is going to be your armor etch. You're going to have armor etch or some type of etching cream to etch on your glass. Now, there are other types of etching cream. We just really, really like armor etch. This is our favorite, so this is the one that we recommend using. Obviously, you're gonna need your blank. We actually got this from the Dollar Tree. You can find some really great blanks for glass etching at the Dollar Tree. The other one we had came from Hobby Lobby before we found this one at Dollar Tree. So I would definitely check out your local Dollar Tree first. If you haven't etched on glass, to try your etching on glass first before you buy something more expensive. For the color that we're gonna be adding, we're gonna be using Rub and Buff. Now, one thing I wanna say is we tried multiple different ways to add color to your glass, and hands down, Rub and Buff was our favorite. We tried
different brands of the same like wax metallic finish that did not really go on as smooth as the Rub and Buff, so I highly suggest using Rub and Buff to add color. Now, you don't have to use gold. They have Rub and Buff in multiple colors. We're just using gold for this specific craft. Next, you are going to need gloves. This is to keep yourself safe. Obviously, Armor Etch is a chemical, so you will need to wear protective gloves. We have a paintbrush to put the etching cream on with. And for our stencil, we're just using scrap vinyl. This is not something that you have to have special stencil vinyl for. Just use scrap pieces of your permanent vinyl that you have laying around so that you are not wasting anything. And finally, you are going to need a measuring tape. Now, this is going to come in very handy when it comes to measuring the surface that you are going to be working on. So this is very important that you have some type of measuring tape or tool to measure with. Now that we've gone over all of our materials, we're gonna hop over into Design Space, and I'm going to show you how you can take a file from Makers Gonna Learn, upload it into Cricut Design Space, and cut it as a stencil for this project.
Now that we're here, before we jump into Design Space, we're actually going to start on our website. If you are new to Makers Gonna Learn or to our channel, what we are is we are a membership-based crafting community where we bring you inspiration, education, and motivation to get that Cricut and use it to its full potential. So we're going to start in our cut file section. Now, we actually release thousands of cut files every month new, so we have a very extensive library for you to check out. We're actually going to be making a little Christmas themed glass etching project, so I know what file I'm going to use, so I'm just going to type that in. If you don't know, you can really go through and view all of our files. We have them separated out in different sections. But all I'm going to do, I'm going to type in, "Oh, come let us," and that should bring up the file that we're going to be using today. Now that I found the file that I'm going to use, I'm going to click on it. Now, you don't have to open it up, but if you want to really see all of the details, you can. So how to download this file? We're going to go here to the cloud icon that has the arrow pointing down. We're going to click that. It's going to download as a zip file. We are going to open it up. Now we're going to go over to Cricut Design Space. We are going to upload, and then we're going to click Upload Image. From here, you can drag and drop if you would like to. If not, you can go to Browse, and then I'm just gonna go to Downloads, and it will pop up with the most recent downloads you have, and I want this as an SVG. Now, the difference between an SVG and a PNG is the picture graphic, so it's going to be more like your print and cut image. An SVG is a vector graphic, so we want to open that up because that's going to be your cut graphic. We are going to click Upload, and then from there, I'm going to add this to my canvas. Now, we're not really going to be doing a lot of slicing, welding, really manipulating this file. I like it as it is. So now what I want to do, we're going to go overhead, and I want to take my blank or whatever area that I'm working on, and I want to measure to see how wide and how tall we can have this file. So we're looking at closer to about 3 1/4, maybe even 3 inches by about 4 is how tall this is. So we're going to come back over here to Design Space, and I really want to make sure this width stays correct, so we're going to make sure that our image is locked. Some images upload automatically locked, some of them upload and they are unlocked, so if you leave it unlocked and you type in your width, then it's going to really mess up. It's going to really mess up this file, so make sure that that stays locked. And then I'm going to do 3 inches on the width and then enter, and it will automatically size this to where we need it. Now, from there, if you look at your layers panel over here, you can see, we'll zoom in. You can see that this SVG is 2 different colors. So we have a little green color and we have this tan color. If you were to go to make it right now, because these are 2 separate colors, this is recognizing it as 2 separate layers. So it's going to cut on 2 different mats. What you need to do is select both of these layers and go ahead and weld them together. That way it cuts it all as one piece. So I'm going to click Weld, and as you can see, it all changes to the same color, and that's when you know that it will all cut on the same mat. Once we have that done, we're going to go over here to Make It, Continue. We are going to select the device that we will be using today, and then we're just going to cut this on Premium Vinyl Removable Mat. From there, we're going to load our mat into our Cricut. Once that's finished, we're going to unload our mat, and then we are going to start the weeding process. Now, when you are doing a stencil, you are going to want to weed the part that we normally keep with vinyl. So you're going to weed the letters out. And you may want to be careful when weeding because there are some smaller pieces in this design that we do not want to miss. Now that we have all that weeded, I'm just going to cut out this area here. And then I'm going to take some transfer tape and I'm going to place it on top of our vinyl. And I'm just going to burnish it down. Yes, I'm burnishing it down with a bone folder, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm going to rub my glass down with alcohol so that I make sure that this adhesive sticks very well so that we get a good crisp line with our stencil. And now we're going to add our design to our glass. You do want to make sure you get all of the bubbles out and make sure those edges are down very, very well. And then we're going to take our transfer tape off. Now what you may want to do is you may want to come back in these smaller pieces, kind of move them around because they can move around, and just make sure you press them down really firm onto your glass so that you have a good nice seal on that. And then we are going to start the etching process. So first thing you need to do before you start etching is you need to put your gloves on because safe crafting is the best crafting. Now we're going to take our armor etch and our paintbrush, and what we're going to do is we're going to paint the armor etch onto our stencil. Now, if you are not comfortable, if you're afraid that your armor etch is going to get off of your stencil, you can tape all of this off around it. That way you know for sure the armor etch is not going to get on it. That's going to be a personal preference, whatever you feel more comfortable in doing. I personally think that taking your brush and moving this armor etch around and continuing to paint it kind of all over really helps get down in those grooves that you might miss. I like to have a pretty thick coating, so I'm actually going to come back in here and add just a little more over top. I know that this is covered, but I also like to just make sure it's covered very, very well. I would probably move it around with my paintbrush for at least 1 or 2 minutes, just making sure it gets in there in the grooves and moving it around. Even if you have to kind of push it in there, that works as well too. And now we are going to start our timer. Now the bottle directions say to leave it for 1 to 3 minutes, but I think 5 minutes works best. So now I'm going to start my timer for 5 minutes and we will be right back. Now that our timer has gone off, what we're going to do is we're going to take our paintbrush and we're just going to take this excess armor etch and we're actually going to put it back in the bottle because you can reuse this multiple times. So we're just going to very easily take this and kind of just put it back in this bottle. And now I'm going to take this to the sink and I'm going to wash the rest off. Now make sure you do leave your gloves on for this so that you don't get any of this on your hands. So leave your gloves on, take it to the sink, and we're going to wash this off and we will be right back. Now, one little trick that I like to do before I actually take my stencil off to make sure that all of the pieces that I want etched are etched is I like to take my project and I like to hold it up to the light, and then you can see what places etched very well and what places did not. Now, you do have to make sure that it's very dry, because otherwise it's going to look like it has not been etched. So by holding this up to the light, I feel like it looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and take this stencil off. Now, as you can see, this is great as is. However, if you want to add a little color, I've saved one of my gloves and I'm going to show you how to do that with Rub and Buff. Now, before we get started with the Rub and Buff, there's one thing that I do want to say. I only suggest doing this on something that you plan on not washing. And here is why. I tested this on, adding color, I tested screen print ink, I tested the Rub and Buff, I tested 2 or 3 different types of this, the paint and everything. But when it was on something that I planned on using and washing on the outside of, let's say, like a wine glass or something, every time I went to wash it, they would all come off. So I would only suggest using this on a decorative piece. So please keep that in mind. We are just using this on a decorative piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Rub and Buff and I'm going to put a little bit of it on my finger, and I'm going to have a paper towel ready, and you're just going to come in here and you're going to work this in these edges. Now this dries pretty fast, so I would come in here and wipe this fairly quick, and then you're just going to keep working this around until you have all of the etched area covered with Rub and Buff. And then we're actually going to come in and do one other layer as well. We're going to start down here in the corner where we missed it a little bit the first time. I will also say this. I did try doing this with the stencil still on as well, thinking, oh, that would be perfect. I won't have to wipe any of it away. The Rub and Buff actually just ended up building up around the stencil, and it just looked really gunky. So this was the best method that I found. And there you have it. You have a beautiful custom shelf sitting piece that's going to be beautiful for the holiday season. Now I'm just going to add in some little details inside. And there you go. I really hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you have learned all that you need to know about etching on glass and adding color to your etching design. Once again, if you are new to our channel, make sure you like this video, hit that bell notification, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any crafts that we bring you. If you are wanting to learn more or join our community, make sure you check us out at makersgonnalearn.com, where we always bring you the inspiration, education, and motivation to get crafting with your Cricut. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to the MGL show.
Welcome back to the Makers Gonna Learn channel. We are so excited to have you all here with us today. We are so thrilled.
Yes.
Now, before we dive into it and start explaining from the get-go, I know there's a lot of us here that has already watched the main video. So you're like, Tanner, let's get right to it. Yes. We're gonna make sure to respect everyone that may be brand new here and have no idea what the technique is. We have a supply list in the description. All the supplies we've used.
Anything you need.
Everything you need. Then the next category underneath the supplies, everyone's like, wait, Tanner, can you put together a list of all the tumblers and the techniques and the process? You're gonna see us kind of talk about a lot of different
types of tumblers today.
Lots.
Very overwhelming. What we have done was linked, would you say we linked all our favorites?
We linked the ones, yes, we linked most of them. There was a couple that we were just like, no.
Like the Hydro Flask is
not gonna
out.
work. It's not gonna work. We've done it like 4 or 5 different ways. If you figure it out,
let us know.
But most of these we found a way.
Yes.
There's different things for like different heat settings, different lengths of time for the heat to be applied, and it's very fidgety. So that's why we wanted to like condense everything down and kind of show you all generally how you can do it. But then you're gonna be able to go from there and like develop your own thing.
It's gonna be really intense today because you're seeing on top of the traditional tutorial, Alicia over here has really came up with probably a quicker way that I think I am just so on fire for business owners. I mean, Alicia, anyone out there that wants to sell tumblers, like especially what you're about to teach them is going to like take that up like 10 notches.
Yes.
They're going to be able to make more while spending less time and get a better result.
Right.
So, I mean, the two things that we're all about here is saving time, saving money, and getting more done and at a better product.
Yes.
So it usually isn't true. But if you all are like, Tanner, what are you talking about? Let's back up quite a ways, right? Like, let's back it up. So
start from the top.
From the top, we discovered not too long ago a TikTok.
Yes, it was like a month ago.
Yeah, it was not long at all.
Yeah.
And it was a TikTok using something called citrus strip.
Yeah.
Alicia, have you ever used this?
Yes. So I used for a second. I've had lots of hobbies. I am a hobbyist by nature. It's just who I am. But I use that to strip furniture. So like if you buy an old piece of furniture, typically people
like
use
sealed
this.
and...
Yes, they are. You can even get off like old wood stain and stuff.
Oh wow.
So you just cover the whole piece, let it sit, and it scrapes. Like it scrapes off.
Crazy.
And so that's what this is used for.
And I believe this bottle right here, just for everyone at home, I believe it's like $13 to $18 here in the States.
Yeah.
That's what it was at our local Walmart.
Yeah.
And it has a citrus strip. Sadie, who's managing the cameras today, refers to the smell of this as Tums.
Yes.
For as intense of a product and like chemical, would you agree that you were kind of not like it wasn't invasive? It doesn't feel, look, or smell invasive.
Right.
But it does.
It is invasive.
It is. There's some good safety facts on the back of here.
Yeah.
Did you know it can cause burns?
Yes, I did know that.
You know, it has certain things in here, so don't mix with any other products. Avoid contact with your eyes, etc. Please do not swallow. Things like that. So this is a pretty intense stripping, gel.
It is.
But we're using it today to do something amazing. I mean, what we are so excited about is that you can apply this to coated tumblers, many different coated tumblers.
Awesome.
So what we were able to perfect during the video and that whole day of shooting was we got a really good result. Like this is our friend Dylan's logo, who's our videographer. And this is a really great result. I think this is sell worthy.
Absolutely.
But this one took probably like what, an hour?
Yeah, that was like when we didn't know for sure what
so
to do.
we let it, like, we were patient and really gave it some love. So we're gonna be able to take this work time from 1 to 2 hours at the max to roughly at the max 2 to 3 minutes. Which I'm pretty impressed with and just shocked by. So I know you all are going to be ready for some new tricks and tips. Stay tuned because this video is incredible. If you all are here and brand new to the Makers Gonna Learn YouTube channel, I do want to invite you, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to grab our membership, our year membership tier, learning a new technique so you can get really high quality projects for yourself, for your friends, to give as gifts and to make money with. So when you say yes to membership, you're unlocking over 1,000 new cut files every single month.
Which is
insane.
It's
crazy. Alicia, are you ready? Me and Alicia are both go craft today. We're going to head over to the craft area. And this is going to be incredible because there's honestly so much to share today. Everything you see on the table, supply list link down below.
Yes.
Down to the heat temperature and the tumblers.
Yep, we tried to like test out every single one, and we took so many notes for you guys.
I mean, we have so many we can talk about.
There's a pile of tumblers sitting over here.
There's so many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we talk about what we have been using instead of a Brillo pad in general?
Yes. So I've got one right here. This is a magic eraser, if you're familiar. These are amazing for lots of things, okay?
Walls, paint, children,
Literally, if you
cars.
have children, just invest. Go ahead and invest in some magic erasers. These have the weirdest texture. Like, what do you feel? Like, I don't even know.
I just like that the texture's there so it can get, because
it's soft, but it's textured.
my only complaint with this brand that we have here has textured on it, which is great.
Yeah.
The ones that don't have texture, I feel like it just can't get a good grip.
It doesn't,
And this,
yeah.
you just want to make sure you get a textured magic eraser.
Yeah, and
That
I
would be my
think
tip.
generally they do, but those little thin ones, they just are not
Yeah.
great. And then we were using the Brillo pads, and if you guys watched the video yesterday, that's what Tanner used, and it works. The only thing is, it gets very scratchy.
After, especially, you know, if you watched me do it, I peeled off the vinyl and then kind of just went for it, just mainly because I was so focused on getting that achieved desired look, just to get it off. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't really considering the damage.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, this doesn't work near as well. I think the textured, you know,
Magic
magic eraser will be much better.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we can
love
show
that.
them. We can show them a couple close-ups of like
Yes.
the Magic Eraser one as well as the Brillo pad one, because you'll be able to
You'll
really
be able
see
to
the
it.
difference.
Yeah, for sure. We've used different tumblers.
Yes.
So like this is, we're calling this more like the ceramic coated tumbler.
Yeah, well, I think technically the powder coated is also ceramic coated.
True,
That
true.
is a funny word that Courtney keeps telling me, and I literally just looked at it 5 seconds ago, and I already forgot again.
It's okay. It's okay.
But it's like an aluminum type deal. So
it's just another finish.
yeah,
like,
it's
you know,
smooth.
very smooth.
Yeah.
So we're pretty much telling you the possibilities are endless today.
Yeah.
And that's what I love. Now let's talk about what you need to do when it comes to Cricut to start your project. Okay.
Yes.
All we have done is we have made, there's 2 things that you need to do. And I can actually, you know what, just to make sure everybody is on the same page, I'm going to hop over to Design Space because I feel like this would be just as fast being able to explain over in Design Space as it is here on the channel. So what we're doing is I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make your very own stencil. So if you've never made a stencil in Cricut Design Space, we're going to walk you through how to do that very, very quickly because we have over 1,000 cut files every month that are coming out, over 6,000 you can choose from today.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from at the Makers Gonna Learn website. So yeah, when you become a member, you can go ahead and just look at all of these and start downloading. As you can see, we have a great mix of cut files, print and cut, sublimation ready files. This Army Dad's a great example of a print and cut or sublimation.
Yeah.
Avocado whole in half. The bacon, the baby got what?
Back.
Oh goodness. I love all
There's
of
lots of
these.
sports ones this time as well.
Yes,
there's Army
personalized
sports.
ones.
Yeah.
So many good ones. And you can be a member for as low as $19.99 today, which is crazy. And we love it. So, okay,
Right.
let's do the flower and the light bulb because this is pretty incredible.
So cute.
So we're going to click download now. And when we download it, you're getting a zip file, okay? So come down here and you can click on your zip file. We're going to double click that. Now we have a folder, okay? So we're going to open that and we're just going to move it to the side. Now head over to Cricut. Let's get Cricut to pop up and we're going to click upload. So now we're going to be at the upload area. We're going to go right here and we're going to drop that SVG. Once we've dropped that SVG, we're going to click upload.
And SVGs are typically used for cutting.
Cutting, multi-layer cut files.
Yeah.
We have them all organized by color and everything. So now that we have this file, we're going to click add to canvas. And this is like the 2 steps. So you've got your cut file in here. This is how you always will upload your cut files. To make a stencil, it's actually super simple. We're going to add a shape and we're just going to use the square. So we're going to grab our square here and we are going to unlock it and just scale this up. And then you can bring in your cut file. Now it's pretty big, so I'm just going to size this down a little bit. And now that it's sized down,
you can see this is gonna fit a lot better. So even though you can't see it, no big deal. I like to do 2 steps and we'll be done, okay? We're gonna select both layers and we're going to click a line and a line center. Let's go align both of our 2 layers centered up. Now that they're centered, we're going to still have them both selected. We're gonna press slice. Now that we have sliced that out, look at what we have right here. You can see Tanner already had his cut out and it's gonna be a perfect stencil. I just wanna let y'all know.
Yeah.
They're gonna cut my stencil out for me.
Yeah.
You're about to see 2 different ways. So we'll change this color to purple and we'll talk about both. So look right here. So we have, only need 1. So we have the right side is what we're about to teach you with Alicia's, and then on the left side you have mine. When you click make it, you are going to see mine is go cut out that rectangle, the stencil's done, bada bing, bada boom, love it. Now Alicia, I'm hoping when you do yours, when you're at this step, you're actually taking it and moving it a little bit so you have some extra space.
I absolutely do that.
Okay, that would be my only tip. Because if I wanted to do it the lazy method, I would move it to the 1 inch by 1 inch corner. That way this excess vinyl's there that I, can match up with my painter's tape.
Right, and especially for this method.
Yeah, for this method alone, you have to have that edge, so that's really important. So then you would cut it out, and here's what you're gonna be left with. So you have your stencil right here, all cut out, all prepared for you, and we're using a Maker's Learn cut file, of course. But what we need to let you all know, you either need to use StarCraft permanent vinyl or Cal 651. They're pretty much, I would say they're almost the same formula.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So what we're gonna do here, we've already weeded, and then we've already added some transfer tape. So all we're going to do is, I like to burnish sometimes the back. So I'm just gonna burnish here on the back. And we already have our tumbler. I want to let you all know, we have not been cleaning these tumblers with no rubbing alcohol, nothing.
I got you some right there. You want?
Oh, should we clean it? Why not?
Why not? Let's do all the steps.
We're gonna do all the steps to make this as perfect as possible for our live stream today. And it's gonna be incredible. So that's gonna allow the vinyl just to adhere even better. Yeah. Which we're all about. Can we talk about the sealing? Why do you not need to seal it, Alicia?
Well, but mainly the powder coating is not, after you do this, it's not going to come off. So like the powder coating is adhered to the tumbler. Like even the
really,
rim,
really
even this is like exposed, and you can tell there's like a seam right there.
Exactly.
That's not sealed.
Exactly.
So we know we're not going to have to seal it.
Yeah.
Also want to add that the way that you do your stencil would give you a straight line to kind of line up with the edge of your cup right here. But mine is so janky because I just literally go in there willy-nilly. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do Tanner's stencil method.
Tanner's is going to be a little bit more foolproof than mine.
Oh my goodness. I love that. So we've been able to apply that just the typical way. Now our stencil's on here. And Alicia, here's where we go start taping it up? Like, is that still our next step?
Yeah, let's tape it up and then apply heat.
Okay, so we're gonna tape this up right here. This new technique that you're gonna get to witness today is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and I think it's good to mention that we are taping this so much because whenever you apply that citrus strip, you put it on pretty thick.
Yes.
And it tends to drip. It's very goopy, and it tries to drip down the sides because we're working on a curved surface.
Yep.
And I brought like 50 of those squeegees so that you can sit it and it doesn't roll, if that helps you.
Oh my gosh. Boom. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to pass it over to Alicia so she can start talking about like more of the strategy of what happens now that the stencil's ready.
Yeah, okay. So what I've found after I apply the stencil is we need to apply heat. And the reason we put heat is to prevent any wrinkles. So like if we're overhead, you can see that there's like a few little wrinkles right here. The stencil was applied well.
Thank
so
you.
we don't have issues there. but you can have issues.
Right.
So I like to apply the heat to that. And also it's going to really lay that stencil on your surface. And
I feel like it's gonna like set the stencil, it's gonna like melt it a little, not truly melt it, but just like adhere it better to the surface.
Yeah.
So that none of the citrus stripping is getting underneath.
Right, and that's what we do not want that, and we ran into that issue a lot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just take our heat gun, and I'm gonna use the lowest setting on this, which the lowest setting gets up to like 770 degrees.
Crazy.
Yeah, the highest setting's like 1100 degrees or something. I found that on the Google last night.
Love that.
I was like, I wonder how hot this thing does get.
Yeah.
So you just need to go over it. I mean, we're not gonna sit in one spot. I'm just gonna kind of make sure it's completely covered.
And we'll talk about this here in a little bit about the research that Alicia has been able to do to know exactly how hot you would have to get it to actually remove the powder coating.
Right.
So that'll be something really good to touch on here in a moment.
Yeah.
We're so excited. And
The next thing that we're gonna do is score it.
let's talk about what you mean by scoring. For someone that's like just tuned in, let's go make sure we're overhead for this.
Okay.
We have our true control knife.
Yes, so this is a true control knife, X-Acto knife.
Yeah.
Whatever you've got on hand. And what I'm gonna do when I say scoring is I'm gonna go in all of the larger areas. I wanna score as much as I can. And what I mean by score is I'm gonna take my sharp edge and I'm gonna go right along the edge of my stencil. I'm inside of the line of the stencil.
I love that.
I'm not cutting the vinyl.
Right.
I'm cutting right inside of it. And you're just gonna go around all these lines and do that all the way around.
So you're just like kind of giving it a head start.
Right.
You're making this an easy win. You're making this like you're gonna get the best quality look.
Yes, and this is similar to whenever you paint furniture, you want to sand it.
Yeah.
That way that it adheres. But the initial reason that I did this was because I was finding that the citrus strip was trying to seep under my stencil
Yeah,
still,
okay.
even though I was applying heat. So this is like a little rivet. So it's like, oh, I need to stop here. The citrus strip is like, I should stop here and not go any further.
Yeah, you're kind of putting the line in the sand.
Right, and you can, sometimes you may run into your vinyl a little bit, but you just need to just keep going. Just kind of lift up and keep going.
This is amazing.
Look, you can see that I accidentally cut into my vinyl.
Right.
So I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to go back, keep going.
So you cannot do this on necessarily glass because all of the common denominator of all of our projects today is that they're coated. So they're coated with something. So I guess if you have a glass, you may be able, if it's a coated glass surface. Okay, so we've scored it. It's not, you don't have to, you can skip this step.
You can, and you're gonna find, whenever you find which tumblers are your favorite, you're gonna say, okay, that is definitely a needed step. That I don't need to do so much.
Yeah, so I love that.
So I love to do that part.
Yes. Now this is the time we're working with our material. So we're gonna glove up.
Okay,
we're gonna glove up. This is the time when you could put on eye protection. This is the time when you could put on, a mask. So now that we have our gloves on, we have put our citrus strip in a little Rubbermaid.
Yeah, I brought that container. So I've been using a paintbrush all day long. Courtney leaves this Squeegee below. So this is actually for like resin, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Which is fine. We'll use it. Why not? So whenever we first were doing this, we were going hard on the citrus strip. We were putting, it was like this
thick.
all over. What I found is that's not necessary. You do want it thick, but like
not globby.
Not globby.
You don't need globby. You need it thick and even.
Yes, like before.
You need to be generous, but you don't need to be over generous.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Yeah.
Like do it, commit to it.
I love it.
But this is actually working really good. I should have used this earlier because you can wipe this clean and it's not going to ruin your paintbrush.
Courtney knows what she's talking about or something.
I know, right?
Isn't that crazy?
So, I'm just going to evenly cover this. And since we've taped it up with our blue tape, it's not going to seep onto the rest of our
Which
cup.
I love. And this little, the Squeegee is such a great thing. Why did I not use that? Like,
I don't know. If you need your hold your cup still, that is a great little tippy tip there.
And you're just getting, again, you're generous, but you're not overwhelming anyone.
Right.
It's getting even. I will let you know, like, there is a smell Like I'm smelling it.
It smells like orange house cleaner to me.
Yeah, but a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
A little bit stronger than the cleaner. Eye protection wouldn't be a bad idea. You know, we're protecting our skin and whatnot. But yeah, so if you're not in a well-ventilated area, I would recommend doing this in your basement, doing this outside. You want to have like wide open space for air to circulate.
Yes,
So open your garage, anything like that. We have an external door. If we were doing a lot of these, we'd probably open too.
Yes,
so,
for sure. So this is like a good even coat. Now what we're gonna do now,
tell us, Alicia.
I'm gonna let it sit. We're gonna time it.
Okay.
We're gonna time this for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10, and honestly, it may not even need that long, but that's what I've tested that has worked pretty, like consistently.
Now tell us
for me.
the brand here can I start the timer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna start 10 minutes here.
This is the Tall brand, Towel
Okay.
brand.
I love this brand.
Me too.
so-
Should we do the other one while we're hanging out?
Yeah, we should. Oh my gosh. I
Okay,
just
do you
want to
do
stories.
it since we just gave you a tutorial?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
we're
So
new
this is
soccer.
another logo or another cut
Yes.
fall. This is one of our new cut falls too. I may have to take off my
Your gloves,
gloves.
to get the thing.
Yeah.
I need to put a timer on for you.
Oh, for me? Oh, your phone's right here.
Okay.
Perfect. Oh no.
Let's open my timer up.
Can I put a decal on with gloves on?
You can do it.
Okay,
Of
if
all the
anybody's
towns.
judging Alicia's place, oh, maybe it's just the anyway.
I'm really good at eyeballing, so if that's
Okay.
straight,
Well, the vinyl that I don't recommend her technique. I'm just letting y'all know. So we're gonna do the heat next on the low setting.
yes.
I'm also scoring this right now as
Yes.
Alicia teaches. It's a little time consuming, not gonna lie.
It is, but honestly, for me, it's worth it because whenever that citrus strip starts to lift the powder coating,
When they see what we're about to do,
yeah,
they're
you'll
gonna be
be
like,
able
I
to
have to
know.
do this too.
Yeah, because whenever it lifts, it's gonna lift like flawlessly. It's
Yeah.
not gonna tear. It's just gonna.
Yeah.
It's gonna already have a seam to rip off.
But
of.
anyway, so anyway, I'm just scoring this. I highly recommend it. Are you gonna recommend me to do this on the soccer ball too?
Not if you don't want to.
We're gonna say
think
no.
Those are so
good.
crispy. They're so crispy, you guys. Like this one I did today, and I was like, "Excuse me, excuse me, what?" Like, let's go overhead and
go
I'll show
overhead
you guys.
and do that.
Like, look, is that? Can y'all see that really well?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no flaws. You can get a
Yeah.
microscope on that. Like bet on that. That
like
looks
you would
good.
sell that all day. I would confidently sell that any day.
Oh, 100%.
I love
These
that.
look so good. So this is the technique we're doing today. This was the first technique, and it still looks good the way that
Yeah.
Courtney did it. So
Yeah.
I love that.
Now, if you all didn't know, you can get all of these cut falls, all of these fonts, instant access if you become a member today.
Do you know anybody that knows where this goes? Oh, okay. There's our timer. Okay, switch me spots.
Sliding over.
Okay, so what we're gonna do next, I'm gonna lay out a piece of aluminum foil on the table. So this is just to protect my surface.
And while she does that, I'm just applying my even, generous coat that I forgot to add painter's tape to because I'm living on the edge today.
Listen, after the first like 3, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because you learn how much you need and
Yeah.
how far to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you see me overhead, everybody? Okay, what I'm gonna do, I just laid that down to protect the table. I'm also going to rip another small piece of aluminum foil, and I'm going to lay this over top of my design. Okay, so just like this. And I'm doing this to protect the vinyl because I feel like if I just went in there with a heat gun on the vinyl,
would start like doing some stuff.
it does, and it adheres anyways from the heat.
Yeah.
And then what we're gonna do next is I need a minute and a half.
Okay.
Oh, that's an hour. We don't want that.
Wait, is that not the timer for me?
Here, you use yours. 'cause
I'll use
I
mine.
can't unlock your phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's start a minute and a half on this, on the heat. I'm gonna do lowest setting for a minute and a half, and I'm gonna go back and forth like in a rainbow
I love this.
motion, I guess. I don't know why I'm nervous about this not working because I've done it 50 times, you guys.
Today.
I've done it so much.
Yeah, this is incredible. Now let's talk about it. Let's talk about what temperature you were researching. You were telling me something about the 400 degrees.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so powder coating sets up at 400 degrees. That means you've got to heat your powder coating up to at least 500 degrees in order for the powder coating to remove itself from the stainless steel. So this on the lowest setting gets up to 770 degrees. On the highest setting, it gets to like 1100. I have done some on the highest setting, but it's like too much heat.
Yeah.
And I will say also that the amount of time, like I go between a minute, 30 seconds, a minute and 30 seconds, those make a huge difference. Those 30-second increments make a huge difference. So like I've got 4 seconds left and I need to be done. Now, if it for some reason isn't working, we will do it a little bit longer. Whoops.
Ooh, okay, so it's been a minute and 30.
Yes, let's go
I'm so
overhead.
excited.
Be super careful so you can kind of peel this up.
Oh, wow. Oh, it look. Can we get a
Yes.
close up? Sadie, do we have a close up on this?
Can you see it?
Can you see this? Okay, so look right here. Why the heat gun? If you watched yesterday's video, if not, please go watch it. When you score it and you create that, what was it called?
Trench.
And you created the trench, and then the heat. I mean, it's the perfect storm to come together. So let's continue.
Okay, so before we were taking a
Brillo pad, magic eraser.
Okay, but now this comes off like butter. But don't be careful not to scratch
your vinyl.
Yeah, or scratch your stainless steel.
So should we use the magic eraser here? Should we use paper towel?
Okay, so what I like to do is scrape off as much as I can.
Okay.
And then I'll take a paper towel and wipe off any excess. And then I'll go in with the magic eraser.
So 3-step process.
Yes.
True control, paper towel, magic eraser.
Right.
Wow, Alicia. Who are you?
It's coming off good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now this I can tell did not get as much heat.
Okay, so what would you do?
Let's apply more heat.
Okay.
But like this bottom area I did not do great, but this is good up here.
Now all of it, or just?
I don't know. This is the true test up here, okay?
Okay.
Like these stars are coming off.
Uh-huh.
But look, they're staying on. The white's coming off, but the powder covered part is staying on.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is like where I'd be like freaking out. If I was doing this at home, like I would be freaking out, like to be honest.
I'm just gonna put this back on.
You're putting it back on.
I'm just gonna heat the bottom for like 30-ish seconds on low setting.
Love
I'm just gonna heat right here.
Wow.
That's it. I'm gonna do it for 30 seconds.
This is incredible.
Start.
What are you all thinking? Please let us know. So the hairdryer, no, we would
Now to seal your stencil, you could use
the hairdryer would be great. And you don't. Again, the heat is not necessary. The heat is not the only thing there. You don't have to. Like you can watch yesterday's video. We used no heat. We did no scoring. This is just like to step it up, to make it even faster, to make it even better. I would just clean the True Control knife with probably rubbing alcohol and just make sure all the residue's off and that it's clean and safe to use on your traditional Cricut projects.
Okay, so let's see what's happening here.
Oh.
So,
Oh, wow.
So it's just coming right up. So it's kind of being finicky with this. So I'm gonna take a paper towel.
This is gonna look so good. This is gonna look crazy. Oh snap. Oh wow. Oh wow.
If it's not coming up, what we'll do is just apply more heat.
Okay.
I mean, we're just gonna.
And is this normal? Like from your other tests too? Like you were like, okay, more heat here, more heat there. Because traditionally this technique would probably take like what, an hour and a half?
Maybe,
an hour and a half, yeah.
So I did not do a good job over here.
Okay. So we'll add more heat.
Yeah, and I'm actually just gonna stick on a little bit of this. Just like a little.
Even though some of the stars have came out?
That's a good point, actually, Tanner. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna rinse it in the water.
Love it. Okay.
I'm gonna rinse it, and then we'll see what we're left with.
Oh my goodness, I love this. So as you guys can see, like there's a lot of different ways to do this, and we want to do this live, like testing more ideas. I thought you had to go to a sink. She brought a bucket of water.
Courtney brought this in here, so I thought, we'll use it.
Look at this. So she's gonna like start just cleaning this up. Oh my gosh, here, let's bring this in so they can kind of see what you're doing. We don't want to miss any of this action. Okay. Let's go overhead and just watch how you would clean this under rubbing water. I mean, your stars are coming up so well.
Yeah, you can see them really good, so that's awesome. I definitely needed more heat on that side.
Yeah.
And what happened was I think the decal was a little bit too big. Did you set a 10-minute timer for yours?
I did set a 10-minute timer for mine. I'm at 4 minutes left.
I was like, did we forget?
No, of course not, Alicia. We are here to win. Look at this.
So I'm just going to keep cleaning this up.
Love it.
And then after we take the actual stencil off, my magic tool is my fingernail.
Yeah.
Because we were using a weeding tool to get the edges cleaned up. And I just really, it was like scratching.
Right.
It was very scratchy.
Yeah, we want to respect the metal, right?
Right. So your fingernail is not going to do nearly as bad.
Sure.
Some of this is still coming up.
So since we've left the stencil on, would you apply heat again? Like maybe straight to the stencil?
For
Maybe.
what do you mean? For
this project?
Yeah.
Cool.
You could.
Okay. Look at that. It's literally just coming right off.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We're getting somewhere.
Wow.
If I would have applied a little bit more heat, this would have been a lot more seamless.
But it's still
doing it.
I mean, for 10 minutes, like when you do this with none of these fancy steps that we've done today, this would take over an hour.
Right.
So this is pretty insane.
Yes. So I'm just going to keep going. I really did not a great job here.
That's okay. But the heat is still available because the stencil's still on it.
Yes.
So that's incredible.
So... And also, I'll say that warm water works a lot better too. This water has cooled down.
You can run to the sink if you need to. I can take it. You know, we can answer some questions while you go to the sink if that would be better.
And see what
we want to
happens.
give the best ability here. You know what I'm saying? Like we want to make sure that you all have the best experience. And this is a new technique that we want everyone to test out. Alicia, if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and heat set mine. Yeah. So I'm just going to take this here and we did make our stencils pretty large, so I would recommend making them a little bit smaller, but no biggie. I'm just going to take this aluminum foil, and I'm just going to apply it down onto my tumbler. And I'm going to set a timer here for about 1.5 minutes. So I'm just going to go down to 1.5 minutes. Okay.
So I took the stencil off.
Oh, you're still mocked up. So yeah, they heard your water and everything.
You guys heard me scratching in there. So so this is what we're looking at right now. This left side, I did not apply enough heat to. I'm gonna keep scraping in my little bucket of water over here while Tanner heats that up.
I'm gonna try to make sure I hit mine really well.
Yeah, and actually those don't even need a whole 1.5 minutes.
Love it.
You can do them, because I don't know, I think the paint coating is a lot easier
too. Easier, better.
For sure.
Not better, but just quicker.
It's quicker, yeah. It's not as thick as the powder coating, so I think it just slides right off. And you can also test these out in 30-second increments. So like, do it for 30 seconds, check it, do it for 30 seconds.
I do like that ability to be able to check it and be like, oh, not good enough yet.
Yeah, pull that one off and see, because I feel like that's...
Okay, oops.
30, I think 30 seconds only for that one, really.
Yeah, probably. Oh my gosh, honey.
I don't know how long you did it for. How long did you go?
I didn't even go. I did about a minute. Minute 10, minute 15.
It came off, for sure.
Well, looky there.
So you can literally just remove the stencil.
Hot diggity dog. Oh, another one. Another time I bite the dust.
Another one.
Another time I bite the dust. Oops, I'm accidentally peeling up the...
I mean, that comes off like butter.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah. This one, I'm just cleaning up the edges because I want it to be nice and crispy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
These stars look good on this one, on this military style one.
I love the stars. I love if the stars can look that good. I mean, that just shows like anything can.
Yeah.
Which I love that. So it's incredible.
It's just coming right off.
Wow. Look at this. Okay, so see, I didn't do any for my soccer ball that I want to call a volleyball. And like you can just see right here, I mean, all of it's coming off so well.
Yes, it wipes right off.
Which is crazy.
I know it was.
Really crazy.
I mean, we were like scraping and scraping the other day.
We'll use a different side of this right here and just make sure we get it all.
I'm contemplating.
Can you hand me a new piece of paper towel if you don't mind? I don't want to reach over. Yeah. What are you contemplating, Alicia?
I'm contemplating drying this off and then heating it up a little bit more. It's just like the very edge. Like, let me show. Here's the paper towel. Let me show y'all what I'm looking at right now, because it's a little fuzzy on the left side, but I just know it could be better. So this edge, do you guys see how the coating is still stuck to the mountains and stuff? Are y'all seeing that? I want that to not be there.
I love that.
I need it to go away.
You want it gone? Gone. Okay, so I'm just scrubbing this off. And if vinyl comes off at this point, it's so good. I don't even mind, because I can run it underwater. And
you can rip that off. I mean,
I'm just going to clean this real good. I have this one letter. I kind of have I have a smaller issue, like Alicia did, over on this side, but it's coming up really quickly for this letter. Like, it's gone, which is crazy.
I mean, this is just, once you all start making these and you figure out what works for you, you can bust them out pretty quickly.
Now, Alicia, let's talk about this, because I feel like now's a great time. Like, they're saying like, oh, Tanner, you had like, this error. Or, oh, Alicia, oh, you're gonna have to do this.
Yeah.
Even if we had a laser, there would be trial and error involved with that one too.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not just like the laser doesn't save you the trial and error. No. So I even recommend it in my video. If you want to get familiar with your tumblers, use the bottom. Use the bottom.
Test them on the bottom.
Test them on the bottom. Have fun. You guys can see here. Look at this. I mean, Alicia.
That looks so good, y'all.
Alicia.
That looks so
Look at this.
good.
Look at this.
Would you just look at it?
Would you look at it?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Did I leave the weeding tool in there? Sorry. I think I
don't see the weeding.
I think it's in the sink.
In the sink, probably.
You want me to get it for you?
I don't think I really need it right now.
Okay.
I'm going to dry this off and then just kind of show them where it's at. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at this. Holy cow. Holy cow.
And if you get any residue from your vinyl, like from the permanent vinyl, you can take rubbing alcohol and it'll clean up everything around it. Because sometimes whenever you heat it up, that adhesive does stick to the powder coating. So this is the one.
Wow.
This is the first one.
Wow.
I should have put more heat over here. Otherwise, this would be perfect.
Wow.
In my opinion.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the edges, on here are so good. Like, even when you compare, to where I was able to indent and where I wasn't, they're really
that looks
really
good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't even score this at all.
Yeah,
right.
I mean? And so you guys can see like that you don't have to score it.
Yeah.
Certain powder coated tumblers are a little bit more finicky, and so I feel like the scoring helps with those.
I love that.
But these are great. You don't have to score them as much.
It is so good. But y'all, these tips and tricks are definitely going to elevate your quality and get you guys going really, really good. So we love it, love it, love it. If you could feel what we are feeling here, like I just said, like I wish I could pass this to you and say, like, feel it. This one, the mug right here was washed in the dishwasher. It was non-harmed. Like, it was incredible.
And you can scratch the crap out of it. I mean, you can scratch it and it's fine.
It's really, really good.
It's on there still.
You can apply another stencil if you need to redo that, to reapply heat and things like that. You could totally do that. I would just say we could have caught, for this one particularly, if we weren't live, we'd have probably caught it a lot quicker.
Yes.
We wanted to give you guys like a true like reveal, like boom. So what we would recommend, before you start going all the way in, you want to make sure just to fill around the entire stencil, and that way you could have been able to apply more heat really quickly.
Yes, you would have known before you wiped everything off and got your stencil removed and all of that. So,
oh my gosh, thank you guys so much for being here today. If you have any questions, let us know, and we'll see you back here real soon for more Tumbler.